shit. Whoops. Alright. Hey everyone, welcome back. Just give me 1 second. I need to set up a thing so I can actually see chat. And then we'll get started here. Oh shit, this doesn't work over here. Oh damn it. Alright, I'm so used to the other streaming setup that not quite ready. So sorry, give me 1 minute here. Give me ready in a second. Grab my phone so I'll be able to actually see chat while in the game. Should work now. This because alright, it's not whatever. We'll make it work. Alright, so unfortunately that's the best we can do, I guess. Alright, so hello everyone, welcome back. We're gonna jump into the new Star Trek Resurgence game. If I can trying to drag everything closer to the wall outlet so I can actually keep my phone plugged in. I didn't realize we're almost out of battery here, but alright, I think we're good. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna pull up chat. Hey Thomas, how's it going? Just listening to myself for a second. Alright, I think we're good. 1 second here. Alright, I mean it's a little staticky, but it's going to have to suffice for tonight. I'm not going to take the time. Well, I guess we can try to fix it. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to try and fix this real quick. Filter. Add another one. Gain. No. Let's see. I'm going to add a noise suppression in. Oops. Now we have it twice. We don't need 2 noise suppressors. We need to do a noise gate. Fix this. Alright. Think we're good. Sounds better. Mike, can your PC handle the power you need to jump over to that shuttlecraft? What the hell? No time for the game. Alright. I think we're good. Breaking up. Alright, from what I hear from my phone, it's coming out fine. I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully this won't suck. I'm gonna try doing this with, controller. You know what? Let me see if the controller. Settings. Dive deep into your figure that out. I'm just gonna jump into the slot. Oh. Again. A dramatic lab adventure. The relations and something will change with choices, I'm sure. I'm a little suspicious of the game. One, it was a very tiny download. Only about 15 gigabytes.
Stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission.
Hopefully it turns out to be a good game.
And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case,
I don't like change.
Change is good.
Not good. Must be stagnant. Using my PS5? No, I'm using my computer.
En route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
Cat flip. That's a bomb. No. Wait, what? A trigger? Oh my god, I have to play. What the crap?
Thanks.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles?
Yet you join Starfleet, don't close.
You don't like flying. And yet, you joined Starfleet.
There's a reason I'm not a pilot.
You should try it sometime.
Crew's impacted by.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the.
We're gonna make a joke about how bad it.
So am I.
I don't think it looks.
It won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Doc is missing. Ideal birth class. Look, it's K7, guys. The volume of the game dialogue sounds low. Turn it up. Could help a bit. Change of station. Back that shut.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
I was watching over on Twitch with a guy got it running on a 4090. Better, good. Hello?
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean,
only top
all
20?
time in the history
Simulations
of
don't
the
count.
Academy.
Very impressive.
So,
We're gonna go with
there's
only
that.
top 20, not top
Only
5.
top 20, huh? So I guess there's room for improvement.
Well, it's really, really hard.
So I've heard.
Please place your hand here.
No.
Hold it there for a few seconds.
Commander
Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize
wasn't
before.
first place. Now you
I
know
just
the
came off the
pleasure's
shuttle and was glad to be
go
on
with.
solid
Pleasure's
ground,
mine. We can't admit.
so to speak.
The pleasure's mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
He looks
Good
angry
to
all the
meet you.
time. She needs to get laid.
I believe
think so
Commander
too,
Ermont
Thomas.
is expecting you.
You're a
He's in the
little uptight.
concourse just ahead.
Everyone seems to be an ensign.
See you on the Resolute.
Iron Commander Ermont. Race 128. What's your name? Are you
Commander.
Commander Ermont? Armor. Army? Strategic applications. Tech center. Expedite initiatives. MX services. Virtual. River corridor. Resurgence. I think they're just putting words on this. Step portals. Integrated desks. Streamlines. In Callaway. Grateful. Called the show. I have to buy a new box control keyboard. Oh, interact and Fireface. Try the face. The hell happened? They are just missing some weight action. I was looking for tribbles, Thomas. Here to see if there were any trouble with them. No, I don't want spoilers. Why would I want spoilers? Over here. I don't know what I did, but yeah, oops. Doesn't look like we can skip the
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4.
I was just trying to get out of the menu and exited the game on
After
accident.
spending too many months piecing our ship back together,
Can't skip the
finally about to
opening.
venture out on a new mission.
Fortunately.
And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe.
This didn't take too long.
Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good.
Maybe I screwed up and I killed my character. That's why we have to start over. Little spoiler. The controls are sluggish.
Our new first officer is en route to the Resurgence.
I haven't seen
Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
Ah, we caught it this time.
Thanks.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles are the worst.
It'll be nice this time.
Stick around in Starfleet and you'll be sure to see worse than this. I have.
And you're here to talk about it.
In the flesh.
That's good.
All he wants. Am I playing as Kyle? Seems like it.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm
the
transferring
eyes
on to the
when you're talking to me.
Resolute.
Vincent.
So am I.
It won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
That ship looks a bit boxy. Elsier one looks was that a good thing to say? Straight out of the academy? Heck yeah, you gotta have them ready to go for anything. If you like it, will you play as a jerk? Second that? Heck yeah. We're gonna actually mix things up. Sometimes it's gonna be depending on her mood. Oh, she reacts.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Homesick. Run. Okay, so we can't run yet. Can't crouch yet.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
Did you
It's
not
a
notice
tactical
my
simulator
rank
that makes
when
the
I was on the
Kobayashi
shuttle?
Maru look like a picnic on Pintar's 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the academy.
This time we'll definitely do.
There's that.
We'll go with very impressive.
Really? That's quite
We're
impressive.
gonna try and get her late.
Thank you. It was
Easy
tough.
boyfriend.
But you know, I set my mind to it and it paid off.
Help the ensign sleep way to the captain's chair.
Please place your hand here. Hold it there for a few seconds.
Officer.
Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm
So you want to play Do you want to play it like birds, cousin osteoporosis?
Sorry, I
5:30
didn't
a.m.
realize
work starts
before.
at 9. You can sleep another 3 hours.
I just came off the
Before
shuttle
me
and
back to
was
sleep.
glad to be
We'll
on
try our
solid
best.
ground,
That's what we do here. Random
so to
menace.
speak.
Oh, he was sitting on my other side? He's still not. I don't think he's. We'll go with the same one. Pleasure is
The
mine.
pleasure's mine.
It can
And
be
say,
yours too.
Paul
For a
Calloway.
price. For
Good to
just
meet you.
2 bars of gold press
I believe
latinum.
Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you
I
on
was
the
gonna try
Resolute.
and pull out my phaser. One was phaser. Pull out our. Can't really do anything. One hit phase.
Good day, Commander.
Camera's a little jittery
If
when
I
you're
remember
running.
my briefing,
Not terrible.
Commander Ermot is a
Oh, that's because I was
Bolivian,
holding it.
so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
All wearing. What are you doing? Go
You're
check
going
out
to the
that
Resolute too?
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Can't jump.
not the ship I was hoping for.
Why's that?
Well, you haven't heard? Some kind of accident. Warp core.
Guys. Something with a
Big
warp.
deal.
I spent 6 months fixing it up.
Is it the captain's fault?
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just... Well, I'm not sure where my departure dock is. The Resolute's gonna leave without me.
Look here. The Resolute is leaving from this dock.
Ah, you're right. Nerves must be getting to me. Thanks so much, Commander.
Disciplining you. It is Kyle. Keep for some. I know there's some racists in Starfleet. What are you? Scary. Talk more. Oh.
Excuse me. Have you seen a Bolian around here?
Yes, sir. Right back there, near the replicator.
Ah, there he is. Thank you.
Happy to help, Commander.
Force lost. Eat somebody's food.
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board. Excuse me.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making
Fine, a bit
anything easy
bumpy.
for us right now.
Bit bumpy.
I know conditions are less than ideal at the moment.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything I've seen before. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us.
Oh, I'm the first officer.
Coming from a premier starship to our local research
What have you
vessel.
heard? Bear me the flattery. High expectation. What did you hear about?
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War.
Of course.
Most recently, Tactical Officer and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavor.
You've done your homework.
Like I said, we're very lucky. The USS Resolute. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than
Her
hold
was the
her own.
former first officer who crashed.
And she doesn't look so bad
Ship looks
considering
okay,
6
though.
months ago she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
Guess it was nearly
It was
cracking
an
it,
accident?
The equipment
Yes, maybe he-
malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other.
Sorry for your loss.
That's what it means to be a crew.
Could have been.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I'll have her beat
It does weigh heavy. There
You
are
lose
some
anyone
things you can't
close,
forget.
who you hurt, how is the crew now? Show concern for the...
It's been 6 months. What's the attitude among the crew now?
Unsettled. But I hope that a new mission will help them move forward. If not, move on.
Not true, one time is...
Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time, and I'm sure you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions
They'll
as
need
much
to
as
get
he
over
does.
that, earn their trust. They need to get over it.
All
By
due
the way, I
respect
want
to anyone
names.
that feels that way. They're gonna have to get over it. I'm here, and I have a job to do, just like anyone else.
That's true, but I wouldn't say it like that. Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Dara made a mixed first impression. Vermont, coming off as rather abrasive yet inquisitive, while showing empathy for what the crew of the Resolute suffered. She has a thing where she doesn't really like blue people. Tough for him.
Will we be mission
That
ready
guy
in
still
time?
likes me.
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so
Olin
much
is
to
also a
do.
commander, so I figure he didn't like getting passed over. Probably. You're gonna have to get somebody else now. Dude.
Stuck.
It's
I got
Chief.
just the thing.
Chief something. Find the plasma torch. Yeah. The Enterprise E in this game, I haven't. Fear the crew. Ah, yeah.
That. Is that.
That's why I'm the chief.
I thought the thing was totally fried. Nice work, Carter.
Asian.
Nothing to it, Neely.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
Boss? Who do you work for? Oh my god, he just... his head disappeared into his face.
Come on!
into his chest. I'm busy
These are
trying to
heavier than they look.
put things away.
Makes more sense than zero G.
Look at this lazy son of a-
Welcome. So clean I can see
Harder,
myself.
Diaz!
And you know what? Not half bad.
Dirty engineering room is danger. What do we... Always look kind of nice. Mine's... She looked like a Starfleet. Oh wait. Another Kyle.
Engineer.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
We can handle it.
You and me working together, we can tackle anything he throws at us.
Your optimism is positively contagious. Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edsolar on repeated occasions.
Almost late as now. Sorry for the... Irreplaceable.
So you're saying we're irreplaceable, Commander?
That is one interpretation. Another would be that I would replace you if I could. You can interpret as you see fit.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
I don't think he likes us. We had like a red box around.
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready. We've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz. Flattery is not necessary. All that I require is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes,
Roger
Commander
that.
Chovak. All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
You gotta have some faith, Nilly. Starfleet Command wouldn't send us out if we weren't ready.
6 months ago, I probably would have said the same thing. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Warp isn't going with them.
Excuse me.
You can steal my warp. We'd have to fight to the death.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement.
A chance, it better be ready.
They seem alright. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again.
Hey, Miranda! You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Some weird threesome.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely.
I'm aboard.
I wasn't sure what to expect.
Don't insult my Welcome aboard.
I'm gonna take the high road here, pretend you didn't say that, and welcome you aboard.
He's a better diplomat than I am.
He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back
green
to me
box.
now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
What is she doing?
Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go.
Girl's creepy.
See you on the other side.
Activating magnetic souls.
Boots.
That view never gets old.
Epic me walking outside.
Let's go.
I don't think a rock was growing on the back of that ship. It's a JJ ship. It's got a wood.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily. You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
You'd like
Feel
give
free
me
to
some
make
of your-
yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Watch out for. Fly off in this. Pepper.
Just a sip of something. Rack the Gino. That sure has a kick.
Jara Rydek. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
Go to the
I could
academy
not be
together?
happier to have you on the Resolute.
Did not age well,
The
sir.
regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival
Captain's
of a first
issue.
officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months.
Captain.
The ship suffered some damage.
Being mouthy.
But not nearly as much as the crew.
Function. Eyes.
You'll have to forgive me. I don't really know the details.
Starfleet has been kind enough to keep the story contained. Probably because they want to protect me. But I don't mind telling you. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology.
Yes, it was.
10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer,
This is the
faster
spot where
than we ever
Neelix had to
dreamed.
go map.
What would have been the crowning achievement of my career?
Decided to sell weapons.
Right there. Within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
Aren't to blame. The crew knew the risks. Crew knew the risks.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Eye on me.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here.
I feel like we should sabotage.
We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. Two previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of,
Based on the
but
start date,
also
this is about a
a mission
year
for
after
which
Nemesis.
we're uniquely qualified.
Didn't say it right.
This ionic storm.
Didn't they say
Our
right?
long-range
I don't
sensors
know.
suggested several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hatari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially
storm.
greater. But the diplomat will brief us on the details at the rendezvous.
Who is the senior diplomat we're escorting?
That I don't know. Starfleet hasn't said. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. so I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come. Let me introduce you to
Got
the
the
crew.
green box for the captain.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time, and I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
Heard of me?
You've heard of me?
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves.
Like the
And
Enterprise,
you
everyone's a
were
command.
one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
I don't know what to say. That's incredibly flattering, thank you.
I hope someday I can follow in your footsteps.
I'm sure you will.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. Have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
Let's take the ship. Take us out of here. We don't need the captain.
Tactical station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that, we'll be ready.
He knows how to use that pen. Take it back, everything I said about you. I'm very worried about your performance.
So many decks. Full of crew that are now my responsibility.
Self-destruct. Make them both jump up and down. There is no jump button yet. Oh no, we're locked on the bridge. We were not allowed to leave.
Science station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily. Might explain Commander Westbrook's attitude.
She needs a apple box
I'll
to
have to
stand
speak
on
with
top
him
of.
later.
Diplomatic immunity. You have to hope that this window doesn't open up and suck us all into space. Look at me when.
The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers. Can't wait to see what she can do.
Like how they just don't even acknowledge him.
Operations. Staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship. Good thing we have Commander Ermont.
Well, that's what operation. And we know what the operation officer. Oh.
Communications. keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels.
The dude at the science station looks angry. They all look angry. He needs to be attacked.
The first officer seat. My seat. Right now, though, I need to fill in for Captain Solano.
Armrest.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Do it.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
The ship explode.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
Pickles.
Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
I am more than that. And so are you. You wanted to get away.
Alright.
I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere. See new worlds. Look up at a sky no one's ever seen before.
Yes.
Just because I'm cranking a
So
hyperspanner
far,
up in a
this game's
Jeffries
been a lot of
today
walking.
doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be. Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Beginning recalibration.
Two nodes. Two nodes descended.
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Flashing red.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge.
Chief
I know
asshole.
this ship inside and out.
Highly
Better than
yourself
just
as
about
impressive.
anyone.
Knock this.
You seem to think very highly of yourself.
With good reason.
It's Johnny Depp.
I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then? You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
Never been a problem, ass. Place.
In my entire career, it's never been an issue, or caused the slightest problem. And I don't expect this to be any different.
I was just curious, that's all.
That's what I thought too, John. Red button was
Listen,
red light.
can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
He does need to add.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
Mr. Westbrook, if you have some kind of problem with me, and you just met me so it has nothing to do with me, you're gonna have to figure out how to get over it. Because I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. I'll stick to science. That is what this ship is for.
Very well.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about
slept
its
his way to the top,
patterns,
JPs.
nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Praxis exploded in it.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wide-band burst of ionic energy. Like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over the...
Red alert!
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
We're gonna go with the shield
That's
up.
right, which is
Shields
why
up.
we need to send power to our shields.
Petrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields!
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
Oh, I forgot about the people outside. They probably are gonna be cooked.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS
That
regulator.
ship ain't thick enough. Not the fat one.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
At the regulator. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Good job.
EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chobot could...
No, the paint. That space station is terrible. Ripped itself apart.
Lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working?
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency
Using Miranda
release.
sitting over there as a shield.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
The docking clamp isn't functioning. We're exploring our options.
The option is to detonate the emergency release.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Jara?
All due respect, sir, it's a more complex situation than when you
Jara,
disembarked.
I need you to do the right thing. We can't have this go sideways before we even leave for the mission.
Can't leave our people out there.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
What do you think we should do? Reverse the polarity or blow the bolts? Bye-bye.
Starbase, stand by.
We're sacrificing our crew.
To disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Ah!
Grab my hand! I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
You can do it. It's jam, sir. You can't do it. I think we just destroyed the ship. We do it together. Power of teamwork.
Look out!
Oh no.
I got you.
How
Petty
does she
Officer
have a block?
Henselar's hurt and unconscious.
How was her eye like?
I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has
She
changed.
got hit in the
You
helmet.
are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edselar there to access the interior.
Roger that. Going there now.
I don't know if we made the right decision. Boy, maybe. Crank that man. Low on steam. Couple more coal. Hurry, buddy. Transporters are offline apparently.
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
Oh no, she's a zombie. Kill her. thought she was gonna stab me.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there.
Don't mind if I do.
You better be right behind me.
Who would have thought? No. No one will be seated during the slow walk part. Oh.
We're in.
Took a plasma shot to the face. I don't think she's gonna be okay.
Bringing the Sith fully online.
Do it.
Subdued.
Carter!
I'm okay. I'm okay. But that's a lot.
Here, let me help you.
Oh my god.
Medical. We've got one wounded at my location. Millie.
Oh, man.
We'll see you at sickbay.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
Could have killed the symbiote. Maybe she's not joined.
You disobeyed my orders.
Gable was right.
Well?
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the information
You
I had.
disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom.
You're not fit
Bridge
to be a
lower
captain.
decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are.
She's point of it.
And if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
We'll cut him some slack.
You placed a lot of trust in me, bringing me here. I feel like I've let you down.
I brought you here for a reason. I'm still sure it was the right one.
Mending fences.
Despite it all,
Captain.
we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and we'll set out for Atari.
Yes, sir.
Should challenge him for command, break all the math labs. She should just pull a Burnham and just pull out her phaser and take command. All I ask is all shit. Pick the wrong one. Thank God this.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Hey, pop culture.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit, everyone.
Not your
You all
dog,
know,
Captain.
I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
I thought that docking clamp.
Docking clamps released.
Fine.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
I knew it. Has to be. I knew it.
Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to warp 8.
Aye, Captain. Rocks. Back of the ship.
You know what? You take this one.
Me?
I think I will. Because, do it.
Helm. Do it.
That fits her personally. I want to make the ship go now. Matthew was also going to stream tonight, but I had to take care of some business stuff. So maybe tomorrow. It just came out today.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really.
It is kind of loud.
You don't look so good.
Running low on her. Food ring is red.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Got cramps.
Men, help me get her inside.
Don't worry. Got you some sanitary.
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on her.
Red.
She'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about
emergency
yourself.
Kotex.
Your deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer.
Everything
Be honest,
dangerous and mysterious.
I've never
and
met a
Trek is
Kobliad before.
You're rare.
Other Trek
I know.
writers. True.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available
That in the
alternative
best
to the
period,
Deridium you
we
need to
talking about.
survive. Yet you joined Starfleet, and manage to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
Difficult. Who I am. Go with it's who I am.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or
yes, it's only
expects
single
something
player.
else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks.
Skinnish.
Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. Breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take. People become blinded by their own ambition. I've seen it happen before.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever.
See you later, JPs.
And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge. It took guts to defy a direct order.
I haven't even say about it.
I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship. And everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
You can't live without the D.
Understood.
Gotcha.
And my work here is done.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
I don't want anyone to worry. This is just part of who I am. It doesn't define me.
Of course. I completely understand. And I would probably feel the same way if I were you. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
Complete the diagnostic sequence, and this shuttle will be cleared for service.
Yes, sir.
The storm in the Hotari region will interfere with our transporters, so we need all available shuttlecraft in working order.
Excuse me, Commander Chobok.
Petty Officer Maris, I will leave you to your work.
I stopped by sickbay and saw Nilly.
It's been a long time since you've been
I figured you'd want to
the
know.
back of a shuttlecraft together.
Did the doc get her fixed up?
She's stable. But there's something about the storm's radiation that's making it hard to heal.
Bridge
the
Commander
energy
did
levels.
not look better.
Doesn't sound good.
She's toughing it out. Dr. Duval said she'll be back on duty soon, though.
Come on. I have to run the final diagnostic.
I can't stay long. I've got a long to-do list before we get to Hotari, and
Bet
things
you
are
do.
piling on faster than I can check them off. We're making all our last-minute checks in security, too. Tactical and security are short-staffed.
We'll just have to take things as they come. Control what we can, and roll with the punches.
Next thing you're gonna tell me you're listening to Andorian jazz.
No.
The point is, the right time might never come. So, I'm just gonna roll with it. I had a chance to think about this while I was away. Then you and Millie almost got killed out on the hull. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse.
Like me?
This is just a guess, but you like me. Is that what this is?
How'd you know? Must have been pretty obvious. Which is
I was
funny
hoping.
because
Should we make this guy like
came
super
out of
thirsty?
nowhere for me at first.
I was hoping.
Well, you know,
you.
I was hoping.
I guess that makes this a little easier to say. We've been really good friends for a long time. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Yeah. It's actually seeing like feel the same way.
You don't have to explain it. I feel the same way.
There was a woman at Tactical that looks like she needs to. Yeah, it's true.
So, do you want to find out
His
what
old
that
ball and
something is?
chain. Big Bay.
If it's there for
Trying to
you,
hook up, alright.
and it's there for me,
Guy moves fast.
why not give it a try?
Let's see where it takes us.
We don't have to put too much pressure on it. Let's just see where this goes.
I like that. Definitely felt some pressure coming down to see you.
These are uncharted territories.
I'd call it a chemistry experiment.
Got another chemistry experiment.
You know, with us.
Glad you said something. Did we tell? Whatever. Take it slow. I'm glad you said something.
I'm just really glad that you said something.
I've seen how you operate. I couldn't wait for you to make the first move. I'm glad too.
So whatever happens next is great with me.
Level 1 diagnostic complete.
I have to get back to that to-do list. They're probably looking for me.
Can't blame them.
I'll be seeing you.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Ionic interference surging, Captain. Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types. I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering.
Fine, you didn't lose.
I can't get it any clearer.
That's just your piloting skill.
You won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
I don't know. I think it's part of the anomaly.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
Come on, Diaz.
There.
First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
From Excelsior. I wonder if she's terrible.
We're pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
Wait, what? Use a tractor beam to deflect Astro.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Diaz, the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
On it.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Got it.
Whoa! Someone's working hard on the bridge.
Good to know the Excelsior's been out in space for the last 100 years.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
It's sure be another woman he knows. Oh, it's Spock.
Terra firma, so to speak.
What the fuck?
Ambassador Spock. The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
The bird maneuver. Sorry for the rough land.
Apologies for the landing, Ambassador. I was operating the tractor beam, sir. I take responsibility.
Our arrival was the smoothest part of our journey. Your artistry with a tractor beam is commendable. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical. Petty Officer...
Carter Diaz. Sir.
Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
As a ass-kissing captain. Don't like him. Provocation to war.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Your experience comes from the past. But our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. 2 formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Illydians have shared a mining operation there. The Illydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Illydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against superior forces, especially after decades in this arrangement?
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations. But it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Illydian fleet if this escalates to open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines.
Only the Federation
and for the
exploits
Hotari, something is
our
better
job.
than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
If we could convince them, it would restore the peace. But we would need the Hotari to accept a difficult compromise.
Made all the more difficult by the emotions flaring on both sides, no doubt.
Neither the Illydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Illydians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
Gives us leverage.
We could use that as leverage with the Illydians. They'll want the Federation to continue buying from them.
There might be something to that, Commander.
Putting that on the table could make the Hotari more hostile.
Given the Federation's involvement in the Illydian dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Illydian fleet has had problems with it
so
as well.
insignificant, I already forgot his
This
name.
recent surge in the
Didn't
energy
wanna agree with
disturbance
that.
temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past.
Perfect
But
storm.
they have
buys
never
us
been
some time.
observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
The field isn't level. We have the backing of the entire Federation. Either of these forces would be foolish to attack us.
That's probably what the Illidians thought too.
We are here because we are up to the task at hand.
All the more reason to learn as much about the energy anomaly while we can. We do not want to be caught at a disadvantage, should the situation escalate. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here. We're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly knows how to say the right things. At least when she wants to. It would be unconventional.
With all due respect, Ambassador, I'm not a trained diplomat.
That's exactly what we're going to leverage.
I began my time in Starfleet as a science officer, not as an ambassador. We must be adaptable in the line of duty.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
Dun, dun, dun. Additional complexity.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
The Ambassador asked me to take a look, and I'm ready to crack this thing open.
Good. You could learn from Mr. Diaz's focus.
I'll take notes.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
I think the commander's
One
had
nice thing about Vulcans.
Talking out
Chovok is the only person who didn't look at this and treat me like I was something to pity. Doc says I should get used to it. Doesn't mean I want to be reminded of it every minute of the day.
Hey, you won't get pity from me. I think it makes you look tough. As tough as you really are, that is.
And that makes you sound pretty smart. I might need you to save me from myself next time, though. Come on. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Dude, the ladies' man.
Ready to go?
Oh, tell him to shove
All
those
set.
asses.
Let's run the diagnostic. So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation.
Shoot the loading.
I'm happy for you. Both of you.
I won, bitch.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me.
Trying to have some fun in the
And
house.
I know you'll respect that.
It won't happen. Have some faith. You upset? You upset?
Are you upset?
Not on your life, Diaz. But you need to be careful. I like my friends and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something. Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Warnings. Warp core cascade.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation. The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
Subspace variance out of tolerance.
Wants a,
what does that mean?
It means the main navigation array
It'd
lost
be a
sight of
four-way
space
because
somehow.
she's got the symbiote.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code. Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely
see those
broken.
sexy coils.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
3.5 way. Use 2 to tricord. Hold, scan on close to some objects. Some objects you scan will activate a deep scan. During deep scan, Q and E to switch between different scan modes and search for glowing objects. The mode indicators on the tricorder will blink if there's an object defined in that mode. When you scan all objects, the frame will change color. Hold the right button to analyze. I'm only button. Hide this button. Polyduranide deposits. The leading coils show evidence of routine maintenance to repair microabrasion. Sinusoidal coil cluster. Center coils guide the warp field through the force event, making a culminated thrust vector. No fractures. The static field in their standby state. Warp coils produce a residual electromagnetic field. No deviation detected. All anomalies detected.
I checked every coil on the port nacelle for imbalances. If any coil in either engine were cracked, I would have detected it. So,
Hey,
must be
Kronos,
the
yeah,
navigation
the new
array.
Trek game.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Hey.
I'm not here.
Awkward.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go.
She's gonna...
The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Time for you, baby.
Come on, I'm never too busy to make time for you.
That's not true.
No. But I am glad you came by.
Now that's more accurate.
I gotta be precise with you, huh?
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Get y'all later.
Shovel more coal. We need more steam.
You don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go.
Oh, guy.
Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right
Smoocher.
now.
Yes, sir.
More important things on my mind.
Yeah. What the fuck?
That was nice.
That was a weak kiss.
It was.
Save some of that for when I get back.
You've got a deal.
Be seeing you.
The end of the chapter.
Etzelar de Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping this shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now. Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong
Gave her
enough to
that
cause a warp
badass
field
scar.
collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine.
Hey, Philip.
Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2. 3. Warp pressure is destabilizing. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
There is much action. I think this is a new chapter. Probably calling it. So. So, alright guys, I think what we're gonna do, since we're at the next chapter of this, go ahead. Calloway was grateful. Kovac not approve of Yara's unwillingness to follow protocol when she defied Captain's. Dr. Duvall was impressed by sense of responsibility to the crew and was encouraged to see independently. Commander Irmont was impressed by my leadership skills when Starbase ordered her to disengage the docking clamps. He appreciated my efforts to explain the complexity of the situation. Man, Irmont respected my rational approach when she defied Captain Solano's orders. Westbrook was impressed. Everybody by my leadership skills when the Starbase ordered me to disengage the docking clamps. He applauded my efforts to explain the complexity of Captain Solano. Much saying. Ultimately, thankful when defied Captain's order and made Locke noticed the report of Captain Solano and her distinct perspective on the Hotari laden. Locke also noted cautious back in. Rosen appreciates my leadership skills with Starbase when the Starbase ordered. Thought highly of my effort in the situation, so alright, same thing. And we're relieved when I defied Captain Solano's orders. Exactly. Nobody likes Captain Solano. Captain Solano looks like an angry Solano's fury over having his orders defied was compounded by Jara's continued rebellious attitude and stubborn opposition to leadership. Him questioning his choice of first officer. Oh no. You're gonna get fired. Carter. Oh, this is... Carter was clever in his approach. Going first on the... Miranda won't soon forget her romantic kiss with Carter. When they were saying goodbye. And Vulcan Man approved of Carter's eagerness to work on ambassadors. fly. We get to fly the shuttle. I'll see. There will be some action. We can use our phase. We got to fire at some like. Alright guys, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call it a night here. I've got to get up early tomorrow. Have some fun at the doctor. Good time. Probably. I don't think it's supposed to take that long. It's just a checkup, kind of a checkup thing. Quick test, apparently. Take a long. Probably sometime in the afternoon we'll jump back into the. Depends what else is going. All right, have a good night. Thanks a lot for hanging out. So far, well, I guess I should say, so far I have liked the game. It's fun. It's kind of like playing through an episode of Star Trek so far. Obviously there hasn't been a shit ton of action. Or kind of a lot of pushing buttons, small tasks. So hopefully the game picks up a little bit. But I'm guessing that it's just a. Hopefully it picks up a little. But I mean, it's not terrible. It's kind of fun to it's kind of like a choose your own adventure thing. Kind of seems. Well, I shouldn't say that. You know, one of these days we should probably just. I guess we'll play through this once, and then play through it again with using different and choosing different dialogue options to see how much the game changes. See if we can get everyone pissed off at us or something. That's funny to do. But yeah, I mean, so far just the small stuff we've done. Fun. The game was released. Yeah, it was released today. Watch from the beginning. Good. I mean, so far it just feels like you're just playing a character. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a good night, and we will see ya.